So the without question assumption assumed need to confront you at work for standing still while watching and um, appreciating and questioning uh, meaning of art pieces. It really is a game. There's many mind games involved. Is that you want to become sensitive to when they're thinking they're talking about you in relation to an art piece, and question whether they comprehend your right to interpret or think for yourself, as well as just concentrating on your work because you want to try and prove by your example and behavior during your shifts that your privacy rights really are important to you, and you've told them that already. And if they'd run a legitimate police check prior to employing you, then they would know that questioning you during work time about standing still in front of an art piece that you're watching and interpretively questioning to yourself should constitute some sort of controversy. But they're not naming or describing the controversy. I'm well aware of what it feels like to have an abstract it being talked about, and you're confronted and addressed by concern on behalf of another in relation to it that you wind up being thankful to the ones that just say to you directly, like, well, the issue here is point in time is this, and then they elaborate to you. But yeah, it's Doublehurst even says it's not for you if you weren't listening. If you can't tell when a deep voice is questioning, here's this, and if you're a church-going psychology and psychiatry gossip lover, any singing you've done in church, there will be mathematical proportions of decibel, tonal responses in male voices of people around you that are unintended on their behalf, but have you pursuant of them and stick your nose in the business as if you because it chimed while confusing you because of the worship of your deity in your church and your glorious quest to invest your professional efforts into the advances of psychiatry, which is treating intangible, immortal souls with conceptual medicines, injections and pills that you just need to only imagine. So yeah, thinking they can excuse their shortcomings in terms of prescriptive moral awareness in relation to their own behaviour, by explaining how they're in a you don't know what it's like to build a business from the ground up in a highly competitive world, and then get together and excuse themselves from various forms of mistreatment by explaining and pandering to evolution in a more barbaric Bronze Age primitive way than Charles Darwin ever did. Charles Darwin even empathized over the atrocious nature of facts of suffering in the animal kingdom. Um, but you'll hear religious people talk about uh, it going on now between businesses potentially, and the business being a conceptual guise for how certain individuals within it can talk or behave, and there's your concealism, like with hell, but it's a pillar of the community. Um, so healthcare, yeah. Healthcare makes Rotol and Garricans pillars to the community. Garricans got Rod Di Castello to endorse Cetrum multivitamins, and now they're running game. Um, yeah, so they do this conceptual fucking atrocious guess who. What one thing I had to learn the hard way was that they thought, well, we've got to get him off this Doppler's video because all the while they're viewing that they was judging me as a person who the film is acting on my mind, which instantly is preclude me the right question and interpret it for myself. Secondly, it's made apparent to any viewer that the voiceover is deliberately out of sync with the movement of Manson's mouth because he's trying to question, supposed to be questioning. So if you are vitriolic about, insofar as Christianity goes, Jesus should not have been put to death. So if it's imposed on you and you found your life being like a constant curse, and Christianity's why, you'll chime with it to an extent. You'll hear, well, kill me, kill them, you can let everything die. The only thing immortal in this world is money. Or Jesus, that random money was put up for kidnap of Jesus. His murder was lied about and represented as the savior who died of his own volition, save all of you. No, fuck you. No, he wasn't. He was human. So it's spoken back like a curse, not a curse against Christianity, not his instructions. And the fact that these two Freemason turds interpreted it that way and thought they could interpret it that way on my behalf, and then start to make suggestive punitive measures, or you want to be a cool outspoken defendant of how pharmacy is great for everyone and never none of our products kill. That's like I don't even want to work for you. You just will not respect my privacy. And so instantly take the definition of a homosexual male as a person whose responsibility comes from the rebellion against their own sexuality, and then realize that their religion is about Lucifer and the biblical God contesting one another and engaging with one another in every way but for fucking. And then they're misreading how and why they think people are at odds with themselves, even if you're sitting still, watching an interpretive art piece. Yeah, so it isn't for me to uh, been what they the thing they don't really tell you is that they will, even as employers, subject you to the same circumstances as a person who had asked them to involve them in scientific um, experimentation and requested that of them and gave them consent for that. But they'll do that while you're their employee, and then they have told you that they have done a police check on you and they accept you and you can be their employee. Uh, so you're the one who's left not to understand fraud. Um, yeah. If they're two deities, if one of them was female, I'm sure that they would have a different definition of homosexuality to consider for the homosexual community. Uh, and nor is it my fault or problem that they're incoherent in relation to their own comprehensions of the stipulation of a martyr. Um, because as secret as their own church is, they decided to keep it secret from themselves while judging the rest of us as well. To a large extent, it's worse than a trying Christian who tries and fails, because at least they give it a go from to your face. Um, Roger Tool and Gary Cans are much more predatory and indecent and presumptuous in their judgments. Anyone who's taken a leap of faith, epistemological approach to the embrace of a theocratic religious belief system, they can't sustain it in any field of science or scientific method will abolish how and why they should trust their own religious belief system on pretty much every possible front. So they have to go on making more and more assumptions over and over and over. And so, yeah, despite me having told them I've left church, I deconverted, I'm not a Christian, and them having told me it was confidential information that they regarded Christianity to be paranoia. Elizabeth Braden employs me, takes me out back, calls me a child of God, and starts thinking it's her prerogative to be pushing Christianity on me during work hours. And later you realize that they're trying to correct you from doppelhers. She's like, well, then what you're saying now you've admitted you think bisexuality doesn't exist, but a supernatural savior or martyr does, and our species originating from inbreeding in a garden is true, does, and is sacred. How ridiculous! I think, yeah. Elizabeth Braden should provide services on the street corner, but in public. She could call it choral sex, like CHORAL sex, where you can just she'll get balls in between her chin flab rolls and just like a titty fuck, but between the chin flab rolls.